But, made it through college, ended up kind of figuring out the first time what I thought my purpose was. And for me, that was working in sports. I'm from Seattle, love the Seattle Mariners. And I remember my dad asked me, like, well, what do you love? And I was like, I love the Seattle Mariners. And he said, you should go work for the Seattle Mariners. And I didn't even know what that would look like, but I remember going to my college admissions counselor and so like, I want to work for the Mariners, and she gave me some internship opportunities. And within 2 years of graduating college, just based on me following this passion and this purpose I had, I was in the front office of the Seattle Mariners wearing a suit, working for my favorite sports team. Yeah. And it was the first time I realized like putting my mind to something that I really want, which was probably the first time since putting my mind of I really didn't want to be in treatment anymore, was such a pivotal moment for me. So that was kind of the second pivotal moment of like, what does it mean to pursue a purpose or something that you're really passionate about? And then the third and final one, I had a career from when I graduated when I was 21 till about when I was 30 years old is when I started Not Therapy. But when I turned 28, I got super into personal development. I call it like my self-improvement movement. I got into life coaching and going into retreats and just really surrounding myself with people that really inspired me. When you start doing that work, right, it's all about what's your purpose? What are you here on earth to do? And one fact about for both me and my co-founder, Haley, who has the same story as me, that's where we really connected, is about 10% of the people that we went to our therapeutic boarding schools with have passed away from mental health related issues or drug overdoses. And some of those, not even including that 10%, were incarcerated. My best friend from boarding school was incarcerated for like 3 years. And so we really started thinking like, what was the difference between me and them? One of my best friends from boarding school passed away right around in this time period. And I had this like kind of vision where I had left the corporate world and I started trying to figure out what my next step would be. And I tried doing solar sales and I thought about starting a roofing company, just kind of more of these like entrepreneurial type things. But there was something that was really calling me to like, I want to help people that have been in the same situation as me. And so I actually went to my boarding school therapist who I had a super up and down relationship with in boarding school, but he's been one of the biggest support systems I've had since. And I said, I want to like help people that have gone through the same situation. What can I do? And he introduced me to another therapist that I knew from my boarding school that ran a life coaching program in Spain, a gap year for 18-year-olds.
Oh.
And yeah, and so he like allowed me to come live in Spain for a gap year semester. And I lived with 5 18-year-olds. And I just kind of went into it with practice what you preach. I lived in an apartment with them. So I was taking them to do ice baths in the ocean or cold plunges and doing breath work with them and just like helping them start to structure their life in a way that I thought would be helpful for them. And the results were really astronomical. Their parents were saying, this is the best my kid has functioned. They're preparing to go to college. And that's when I was like, I think this is what my purpose is. And in those 3 months, once I fully committed to it, that's when I met Haley. We had one conversation where like we should start a company together because she wanted to do the same thing for girls. And that's kind of how we started Not Therapy.